Welcome back to my channel. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. If you haven't done so, please click the subscribe button below as well as the bell next to it in order for you to receive all notifications once I have uploaded a video. In this video, let's talk about Thando the stylist. So how I got into styling, in 2017, I met a lady by the name of Millicent. Most people know her as Mimi Spunk. So I met her at a women's event in Kagiso. It was hosted by one of the ladies that I know. And at that event, you know, you need to mingle, talk to people. So I got talking with Mimi. And I was just telling her about how my business, you know, it's not doing so great. And I came back to Joburg a year ago and things were just not picking up the way I wanted them to pick up. And at that point, I was telling her that I want to do something still in fashion. I don't want to go back to my corporate job. I still want to do fashion. It's just that obviously the little frustrations within business are there, and we started talking. We spoke a lot that day. She's also a fashion designer, so she understands most of the frustrations that fashion designers go through. And she was like, Thando, do you want to get into styling? And I was like, hell yeah, like I would love to do styling. And she was like, I know a lady who's looking for an assistant and they're about to shoot a new production in the next week. She was supposed to actually do the job, but she couldn't because she was very busy. And she was like, give me your numbers. I'll call that lady and I'll tell her that you're interested. And the rest is history. So I'm going to tell you guys, you know, the little things about styling, what I learned, what mistakes I did, and just how I interacted with people and how you can actually get into styling. Fast forward, following day, I had given Mimi my number, so I was expecting a call. And the phone call came. This lady called me and she was like, can I speak to Thando? I'm like, yeah, you speaking to Thando, that's me. And she was like, I got your numbers from Mimi. So can we meet? And I was like, yes, we can meet. When do you want to meet? And the lady said, no, we can meet on Wednesday. Can you come to Sandton? No problem. Wednesday was like so far. The event was on Sunday. The lady called me on Monday. And Wednesday seemed like it was far. So eventually Wednesday came. Went to Sandton. Met up with this lady. When I got there, it was this young lady. I thought I was meeting like an old person. I was meeting a youngster, like a person who's my age. So got to meet this lady, we spoke, and she gave me the brief on the new show, what the show was all about, and who are we sourcing the clothes for, and things like those. Just a brief on what the show is all about. And to my surprise, the people that we were styling were like famous people. Not just ordinary people, famous people. So I was going to dress people who are famous. And I was an assistant stylist. And wow. And that was the breakthrough, basically. I mean, once you've got your foot in, that's your breakthrough. So it sourced the clothing, and obviously I was scared to, it was fairly new. I had just met this lady, and you're obviously afraid to voice out opinions on the type of clothing and where we can actually get the clothes, because she knows like, she knows everything about styling. You're just there to be an assistant. And it so happened that she was a very chilled person. She valued my opinion when I did speak out. And we sourced clothing. I mean, we sourced clothing every single week. We dressed 4 people at that production. And that was basically my first production. And I would go there on a weekly basis. I think we used to shoot twice a week, and would dress the people, steam the clothing, make sure that the talent is ready, properly dressed, and according to the brief as well, because you do get a brief on production to say, talent A needs to look like this. This is what their look is, and their look for the day. And it was a great learning experience. I mean, assisting someone and doing mistakes on the job, but there's someone there for you to correct you at all times, to say, no, don't do this, do that. Don't pair this jean with these shoes. I mean, I got to learn how to style a man, for example. I've never styled a guy, and it was obviously learning for me. Yes, styling a lady, I dress up on a daily basis, so for me it was a bit easy. But styling a guy and pairing a certain shoe with a certain belt, very important. Fast forward later, production had ended, the previous production had ended, and then obviously, did a good job. Obviously you would pat yourself on the back, took some pictures with celebrities, and all was good. And next time she got another job on another production, and she called me. And she was like, Tando, there's a job that we're going to be doing. It's going to be, I think it was like for a week. So it was Monday to Friday. So are you interested? And I was like, hell yes, I'm interested. So we went to that job, and we were sourcing clothing for just one person. But this was a famous person, like a really, really, really famous person. And the person was doing work on BET, and it was a wonderful experience for me. I mean, number one, you get to be on set with individuals that have been in the game for so long, and you get to meet people that will inspire you as well. I mean, I didn't even know half of the things that I know today. The production space is a different ballgame. I mean, you go to fashion school, you learn how to sew, you do all those things. And then there's something called a wardrobe stylist, It's something that we don't really do in the fashion school, because yes, some people do go and study that, but not everyone gets into the styling part of productions, soapies, and things like those. But then the second production ended, and it was a great experience. I mean, the lady was really impressed with what I was doing on set, and how I was taking care of the talent and the clothing and sourcing of the clothing as well. I mean, we used to go together and source the clothes, and it was a great experience. It was tiring at times because production really starts pretty early. I mean, you get call times for like 5 a.m. I mean, 5 a.m. you're supposed to be on set. People are supposed to be dressed and, on set at that time. So it was very challenging in terms of that. But fast forward later, the second job ended. Things were good. I mean, I was on top of the world. I was meeting people, and things were great. Then she calls me, actually on the very same job. She says, you know what? There's another production that's starting that she was doing previously, and she had an assistant for that previously, but her assistant had already left. So she was like, do you want to do this production with me? And I'm like, this lady, does she even need to ask me? She must just tell me that, we're going to be shooting next week. Are you coming? And so this next production, which was our third production, was a weekly production. So it means every week you need to source clothing. That is stress, like sourcing clothing every week. So meaning every week you need to have a fresh look. A fresh look every single week. It needs to look fresh, it needs to look popping, and it needs to look amazing. So went on this third production. Oh, this is like the dream job. Like you meet people every single week, and you don't just meet ordinary people. You meet people that inspire. You meet famous people. You meet people, you know, that will put you in other places in your life. But you really need to work hard in order for you to be able to speak to those people, to be able to be liked by those people. It's like you always need to push. You always need to push your boundaries. You always need to work hard to be seen. And to be seen it's very difficult. You need to really, really push in this type of industry. And the third production, it was difficult, but on a weekly basis, you need to wake up, you need to be there. I mean, we were shooting like 3 shows in a day or 4 shows in a day. We used to wake up like 4 a.m. Actually, used to wake up at 3:30 in order for you to be on set at 5 a.m. to be able to shoot. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. I know a lot of people want to get into styling, but for me personally, I feel like you need to know someone in order for you to go somewhere, especially in styling. Yes, some people are very lucky. You know, you send your portfolio somewhere or to a production place, and immediately tomorrow you get a phone call. But it doesn't happen every single day. Someone needs to leave a production in order for you to be able to go into that space or that job. There's lots of production. I mean, there's wardrobe stylists that have been with production for many, many years, and they're doing a great job. But obviously, for the young and upcoming people, it's very difficult for you to just send a portfolio and say, please hire me. You need to put yourself out there, and it's tough. It doesn't happen in a day. So fast forward later, the production that we were doing had another show. So now Mugeli will be in that other show and dressing the people in the other show. And the lady that I was assisting was so lucky that when this production had another show, she would be called to do that show because they know her, they know what she does and how she does her thing. And for her, it was not easy, but I mean, if you're working for a production and you're doing good work, it's only, nice to be recommended for the next show within the same production. So went to the next production and I was there with her, and it was a great experience because now this was a business type of show where people would come onto the show and talk about their businesses. So you can imagine how many people you meet. You meet a lot of people who will teach you about business, number one. I learned a lot from just being on set with people who owned businesses. The presenters were people who are like respected in the business space. They will give you advice on a daily basis to say, you need to do A and B, and you need to be able to survive with the money that you're making. You need to up your production. I mean, it was little advice that you get on the set from individuals that are there. And it was really inspiring. I mean, you get inspired by the people that come onto the show, plus, the people, the presenters, because they are people who run businesses outside the production. And it was really amazing. I mean, styling is really, really nice. When you get to do it, it's intimidating because you meet people like famous people, and you feel like we're not all the same. And some people obviously might like you, might not like you. So that's the difficult part about it. But in terms of getting into styling, if you're a fashion designer, I think it's actually easy for you to have the eye. You have the eye where you can put garments together and you can put clothing together for certain people, and you know what people like. People's styles are different. So when you go and source clothes, you know that talent A is more funky, and her brief is, they tell you what her brief is. So you try and source clothes that will suit her personality and her body shape and things like those. I mean, it's basic things that you get taught in fashion school. And sometimes the talent will tell you, I don't like this garment. Like, this garment is like horrible. I don't like it. I'm not going on. Obviously, you need to source more than enough clothes. You can't just have one item and go on set and say, oh, I've got this jumpsuit, put it on. No, you need to try different things. If talent doesn't like garment number A or clothing number A, you need to switch it up and be able to put the things together. So you really need to have the eye for fashion. You need to have the eye to be able to put things together. And I was really lucky in this point where the lady that I was assisting was very good in terms of putting garments together. I mean, she has worked for multiple of productions. She's been working with magazines. I mean, she worked with a lot of people. So she really had the eye for fashion. And she taught me, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to look out for. And this is how you pair shoes with certain things. And you don't just put things together because you feel that they look nice. They might look nice on you, but they might not look nice on the next person. So you really need to open your eyes and see things differently in terms of styling and in terms of working on production. Because styling differs. Styling for a soapy is different to styling for a midday show, a business show. So things are very different, and you really, really need to have a good eye for such things. Styling was great. I mean, styling was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. But at the same time, while I was doing the styling, my business was also picking up. Because now, as much as I was working during the week and putting garments out there, clothing, and things were picking up. T Classic was picking up. It was towards the end of the year. Weddings were coming up. Orders were coming in. And I was faced with difficult decisions. I had the styling gig plus, T Classic, which is my baby, which is my business. And I was really faced with really, really tough decisions. At other days, I'd feel like I'm wasting time to go out to source the clothes because I'd need to be, in my studio working because people have paid me to make matric dance dresses, to make wedding gowns. People are going to weddings, have placed orders. And at that time, I felt at some point, going to source out garments for a production was a waste of time for me. And at that time, priorities, I needed to have, my priorities straight. And T Classic was my baby. I was not going to let go of that because I've been working so hard to keep it going. At that time, I just decided that, I'm just going to step back from styling a little bit and focus on growing my business because it was growing at that point. So I did just that. I stepped away from the styling and I focused on being a fashion designer because my business was very important to me. I was not willing to let go of my business. At that time, I wish I would have done things differently, but I'm a one person. At that time, I was a one person production. So I did not have an assistant. I was the only person that was doing everything. I mean, I'd need to go buy fabric. I did it. I'd need to do a pattern. I had to do it. I need to meet a client. That will be on me. I need to deliver. I need to sew. That's all on me. And at that time, I couldn't split myself. I just could not split myself. I couldn't do the styling and still run my business. So I decided to take a step back. I'd actually like to do styling again. Right now, I'm at a point where I have an assistant, or I have people that are working for me, and I have systems in place with my business, and I can actually spread myself in different directions. So given the chance to get back into styling, which I'm planning to get back into, I can actually do it now. My business has grown, and there's systems in place, and I've grown as a business person. I mean, owning a business is not easy, but I've grown as a business person. And I can actually spread myself, and I know what I need to do, when I need to do it, and how I need to do it. I think the most important thing is how you need to do the things that need to be done. You need to do things, and when you do them, you know exactly what is needed. At that time, I think the biggest lesson for me was that I was not spreading myself, or I was not spreading the things that I know in terms of fashion. And because you are boxed that my business is not doing well, so I need this in order for me to maintain myself, and not looking at the bigger picture. At that time, if I had looked at the bigger picture and said, you know what, I'm actually going to push both, and I'm going to push and push and push, I could have done that. I could have easily done that. But I let go of one and focused on another. But I really want to get back into styling. And if given an opportunity, I'll jump at it just like that. And another thing, I'd just like to thank the lady that actually hired me. I mean, big ups to her. I mean, you know, she's a very nice person. She's still doing great. I mean, she does great work. And I really, really appreciated the opportunity. I actually got my foot into the door, and there can only be great things to come. I mean, I just need to push myself, and I need to push those boundaries. I've met a lot of people. I've got a lot of people, contacts on my phone. I can actually put myself out there, and I'd really like to thank her, and big ups to her, man. I won't say her by name, but big ups. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And as well, please subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button below, as well as the bell next to it, in order for you to receive notifications once I have uploaded a video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.